Application continued from August 27th and September 8th, 2015. Wahoo Inc., doing business as Genki Yacht. K-Type non-manager, holder of a wine and malt restaurant license at 231 White Brook Parkway, has applied for a change of manager to David Van Wang, new stockholder, transfer of stock, and new officer director.
Good evening.
Could you state your name and spell your names for the stenographer, please?
My name is Mei Hui Hu, M-E-I-H-U-E-I, H-U, last name. Next to me is David Hong, D-A-V-I-D, H-O-A-N-G.
Thank you.
I represent Wahoo Inc. for its application for transfer of stocks, election of new officers and directors, and a proposed new manager. For the premises located at 231 White Brook Parkway, Wahoo Inc. DBA Genki Yacht. There's no change in the operation. There's no change in the management. Basically, this is just an application to elect new officers and include new stockholders.
So there are different things you're applying for. One is a change of manager, right? So Mr. Hong would be the new manager?
Yes, Mr. Hong will be the new manager. He's been working at the same location since inception in the year 2000. In 2005, when he first started. His responsibility will include, in addition to managing the kitchen, he will also manage the staff. He is currently tip certified, but I think I understand in Cambridge there is additional certification required for any manager at the premises where alcohol beverages are served, and Mr. Hong can definitely take that additional certification.
Has he managed a restaurant in the past?
He has not, but he has been working in the same premises since 2005. He's familiar with the operation, and he is also familiar with the staff there.
All right. And the other things you're applying for relate to a new stockholder, transfer of stock, and new officers. And could you describe that for us, please?
Previously, before this transfer, there are three shareholders: Jason Yu, Hua Zhao, Z-H-A-O, and a gentleman named Dong, last name D-U-O-N-G. Mr. Dong is selling his entire share of 20% of their corporate stock. These 20% will be picked up by Mr. Hong, David Hong here. The other existing shareholders, Jason Yu and Hua Zhao, they will each swap 5% of their interest and sell that to additional stockholder, Shu Fen Lian. And Shu Fen Lian, after the transfer, will own 10% of the stock. So after the transfer, Jason will own 35%, Hua Zhao 35%, and David Hong 20%, and Shu Fen Liang 10%.
I'm going to ask our stenographer, do you need spellings on
Yeah,
this?
if she could spell the names.
Okay, please.
So start. Jason, J-A-S-O-N-Y-U, Hua Zhao, H-U-A-Z-H-A-O, David Hong, David, D-A-V-I-D, H-O-A-N-G, Shu Fen Liang, X-U-E-F-E-N-G-L-I-A-N-G.
So, just for my understanding, so the two owners now who own 40% each, they each own 40, they would be going down to 35% each. So they would still own 70% of the stock as opposed to currently 80%. And the current owner who owns 20% would be transferring all of that stock. And the remaining, the two 40% owners will go down to 35% each, and the 10% that they collectively are giving up would also be transferred. So now this license is a no-value, non-transferable license, if I'm correct. So the issue here would be, do we consider this a transfer of the license for our purposes, because it's a non-transferable license? And I'll open this up to discussion, but my own view on this is that where current owners are still retaining 70% of the ownership, that I could see my way clear to vote that this is not a transfer of the license. It's a minority. There is some share of the ownership that is being transferred, 30%, but 70% is not. And, you know, it's the same restaurant. So it's a question of how we want to interpret the fact that this is a non-transferable license.
I know we have one other pending case in a similar situation where we denied the transfer for this reason. Plus, you're introducing a new stockholder. So it's not just a rearrangement of stock among the existing stockholders, you're actually introducing a brand new stockholder into the mix. So, I mean, in some respects, it is a transfer. You're transferring to another party who never once was a stockholder in the past.
It's the same corporation.
The same corporation.
It is the same corporation.
So how's the other one
license.
different than we had? Were they transferring completely to a different ownership?
I can't remember right at this moment. But I did discuss this with the ABCC, and they said if we sent it in as a new license, they would send it back and tell us to do it as added stockholder, because it's the same corporation.
Okay.
So this is the same corporation, and at the end of the day, we still have two of the original owners that control 70% of the corporation. I mean, I guess I look at it as somewhat more of a stock redistribution and adding a small minority partner to this as opposed to a complete transfer or a new corporation.
And this board could have a discussion in the future about how to interpret this rule and whether or not to change it in some way. But for now, we're just talking about this particular case. So, do we want to have more discussion, or?
It seems to me that the ABCC is viewing this as remaining the same corporation, and they send it back to you by the same application. I think it's kind of a moot point.
Okay. Well,
The two mitigating things is it's still the same corporation, and it's still the majority of holders of the stock
I get
are
that.
still,
Yeah.
yeah, so I think that we have to weigh that as well.
so I would make a motion that the change of manager, the new stockholder, and transfer of stock, and new officers and directors be approved.
And do we do background on this?
Background checks, the checks are.
Is there any member of the public who'd like to comment on this issue? No. So the motion is out there. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
She mentioned
Oh,
21 proof,
okay.
but we
For the-
will
for
make
the
sure
record,
that
I mean,
it's,
they got friendly
yes.
amendment that 21 proof training is also required. Sure. It's popular.
Thank you very much.
Okay.